Today is going to be a different type of video. I have been wanting to make a video like this for quite some time. Being an introvert in a very social city like New York City, and just being an introvert in general in a very extroverted world. I wanted to talk about this book that I recently read called Quiet, the Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan Cain. And I genuinely think that this book has changed my entire perspective in life and kind of just helped in terms of accepting who I am in a world that's like showcasing happiness that's different for many people and what the ideal version of happiness is. America, as well as New York City and just in general, really, that the ideal personality type to be in this world is to be extroverted. And I think we see that a lot within our social media and just movies and TV shows. It's like, what does it mean to be happy? And to be happy is to be social, is to be going out and having fun and going out to parties and meeting up with a billion friends and, always putting yourself out there, right? And as someone who's consistently struggled with this my entire life, it's something that I have never really felt true joy in terms of being extremely social. I think I was trying so hard to be a certain way, moved out to New York City to try to be more social because I think that's what I thought I wanted to do to be more happy. But what I'm realizing, and especially after reading this book, that the way that I am is very introverted in general. I personally love the fact that I'm close to New York City and there's so much to do, and yet I want to do it more or less on my own. That's how I feel the most comfortable. Don't get me wrong, it's always fun to do things with friends whenever you get the opportunity. For me, that's a few times a month occasion versus going out all the time with people. Plus my social group is incredibly small, I literally just know 2 people. And I think it'd be good to branch out to have more friends, but I think I'm also content with having 2 people that I know that I can reach out to and go out with whenever I feel like it or whenever they're free. But more or less, to be out in New York City and doing things at my own pace, at my own time, and without really having to worry about anybody else, it's comforting and it's something that I do genuinely enjoy. And I think reading this book has kind of shown me that being genuine with yourself is important, right? You don't want to pretend that you like something when in reality you don't, and you've just been telling yourself a lie that, oh yeah, this is what you are supposed to like, this is what you're supposed to be like, and versus what you actually like. And coming to peace with that is a hard journey. Being an extrovert is what is sought after within so many spheres of our society, right? We have school, in which we're all sitting in groups of 4 with our desks, and we have a lot of group activities. And the same goes with, your career. The louder you showcase your work, the louder you talk about things that you do, the more higher you're going to get promoted. All of that is very much geared towards having an extroverted personality. And I remember when I was in school, I didn't talk a lot. And I remember one of my teachers in school, she called me dangerously quiet because of how I was just never opened my mouth in class. And part of it was because I just felt incredibly uncomfortable. And the second is just I genuinely didn't have anything to say. I was there in class, I was just doing my work. Always somebody that preferred working alone, and my whole job is actually geared towards my personality that I'm very thankful that worked out, because I feel like if I chose any other career that was not in line with my personality, it would really not have worked, and I probably wouldn't have as great of a quality of life because I'm trying to be something that I'm not. So I work in IT and I also work from home, which is in of itself, it's a huge blessing, and it's something that I'm always grateful for the opportunity to do. Sometimes you need to understand what your capacity is in terms of stimulus. For me, I know that after I go out with friends, I usually need a few days to de-stimulate myself in a way. Sometimes my mind gets so interworked with the interactions with people, and then afterwards I need to take a break and rebound from it. It's just because my energy just gets depleted, and that's fine, I think recognizing that you need that break between social gatherings and between heavily stimulating situations for you, that is something that you have to do and take into consideration, because the more you know about yourself, the more successful you'll be in every criteria of your life, right? You understand what your limits are and what your strengths are, as well as what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And coming to terms with that is part of the journey of life. Being an introvert and having a very small social group and maybe not having as many conversations as people who are extroverted do is totally okay. And just because it's not the lifestyle that you see on social media or on television in terms of what it means to be happy, that doesn't discredit you because you're living your life in a different way that's not as portrayed in our culture, and something that is not as easily accepted. Because I know, for example, like in my family, my parents sometimes expect me to be more social than I actually am, and part of it is like, oh wow, is there something wrong with me that I don't want to be extremely social all the time? Like, I'm perfectly fine with just being on my own. And the answer to that is yes. I think happiness is all about what makes you happy and accepting who you are versus what you think you should be. Accepting that sooner rather than later is probably better for your mental health as well as your own lifestyle, because you get to choose and pick what you actually like to do. Describe your goals that are in tune with what you can actually accomplish. So for me, I'm looking forward to the summer in New York City for the first time living on my own. As the weather gets warmer, I'm super excited to just every day go into the city after work maybe and just walk around and see everything and see the people around and go to these festivals and see all these food, what are they called? Like food markets. I love food markets. Going to all of these places, even if I do end up going by myself, that's perfectly fine with me. Like, I get to control where I go, when I go, how long I go for, and when I want to go home. And all of that is something that's completely in tune with my personality. That doesn't make me any less happy or any less of a person in this society and to the people around you. And so I guess I don't know what this topic of this video even is like at this point, but I just think accepting who you are. If you're an introvert or an extrovert, either way, everything is fine and everything's all good. You do what you do, you do what you want to do. If anybody is not happy with the way you're living your life, then screw them. Just do what you want. If that's not in tune with what's mainstream, that's totally fine as well. So stay true to yourselves and stay happy, you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.